Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fourth edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament. We have got a clash here in the Fourviere Pool, I believe it is. I've been trying all weekend to get that name right. But the SACS Old Boys in the black caps locking horns with the Gauteng Under-19s. The Gauteng Under-19s playing the Tridents men earlier today. They went down narrowly 10-7. The SACS men coming off a win against the UCT side. I believe that was an 11-7 win. So one team with a win, one team with a loss. The Under-19s looking to get their first win. The SACS Old Boys looking to get their second. One of the tournament favourites is the SACS Old Boys side here, based in Cape Town, of course. But a massive clash for these two teams up ahead. The Gauteng Under-19s looking to build up their experience towards the IPT tournament at the end of the year, led by Jean-Marc de Carvalho. The SACS men, without a coach, I believe. They are self-coached, or self-taught, if you will. But absolutely a wealth of experience, especially at international level in the side. You've got Lwazi Madi, Devon Card, Cameron Lawrenson, Nick Downs, Nick Molyneux as well, Faber as well in the system, Niall Wheeler too, and then the youngster Yandro Rojo Ruiz also working his way through this system. Fantastic SACS side here, and a fantastic young team here for the Gauteng Under-19s too. A lot of good players in their team, but Nick Molyneux, as he's known for his incredible speed, wins that first swim off. And Joshua Faber, with the 50 caliber over an arm, has got the ball on the half on the left-hand side. It's given time and space here. Big drop coming down as we're used to when you have Devon Card in your centre forward position. And Faber's let one rip from the perimeter. It's only found the frame of the cage. And the Under-19s escape the first attack of the game unscathed. Going to be a very physical game here for the Gauteng Under-19s, playing against grown men here. Strong men too. That's a great ball into centre. Sugden's been turned. He's shown hands and advantage was given and penalty earned here. The Gauteng Under-19s, Ryan Morley that is, this time in the centre forward position. And he's earned a penalty. And the Under-19s looking to draw first blood here. No easy task. One-on-one with the South African water polo captain Lwazi Madi in the cage. But that's a beautiful finish into the top left-hand corner. Number 7, Nicholas Searle bounces and beats Lwazi Madi in the cage. First blood to the Gauteng Under-19s. SACS are going to look to bounce back rapidly. But a great start from them so far in this game. Stop fourth, out to Molyneux. Molyneux draws the ordinary. A bit tough here to see the Under-19s cap numbers, but that's a great ball into the centre. Devon Card fumbles. And Declan Wood, the Saints boy, escapes with the ball, and he gives that out to fellow Saints compatriot Matthew Cross. Quite a few Saints boys in this team, as we've come to get used to in the Gauteng Under-19 side, as well as St David's and St John's boys. A couple of Kes boys decorated throughout here. And here's James Crick against his opposite three. He's got a 50 caliber for an arm, does Crick. He's let it go, but he's not beaten the woodwork there. Not able to trouble Lwazi Madi, but he has beaten his blocker with Cameron Sugden. But straight back up here, here's Niall Wheeler, the speedster. Gives that up to Suggies. And Declan Wood across to slow that ball down. That ball's gone to the hand of Faber. Faber's dropped it into centre. Dev Card from 2 has fired over the woodwork. Great ball movement from SACS, but just missing the final product so far. The Gauteng Under-19 still out in front by 1 goal here. And here's Matthew Cross on the right-hand side. They need to get up the water here and do the Under-19s. 3 of them in a straight line on the perimeter. A big drive coming down. And here's Crick. He might have another crack here. He plays himself onto the left-hand side. I believe that's Declan Wood. And he's gone for it, and Lwazi Madi denies. The Saints alumni against the Saints boy. But we've got a 3-on-2 here for the SACS boys. I beg your pardon, 3-on-3. Dev Card there earns the ordinary foul. Drops that into the centre rather. The call's already given. Wheeler let the back shot go. Did beat the keeper, but they're coming back for the power play. And Molyneux on the right-hand side, out to Sugden. Stop fourth, gives that to Molyneux. Molyneux back to stop fourth. Card slips on the post. He's drawn the defender out. It's gone back here to Molyneux. Back here to Sugden. Great defence here coming from the Under-19s, and that somehow found its way through, and stop fourth has drawn SACS level. Great patience shown there by the SACS men on that power play. The postman dev card there opting to slow it down, gives it back to the right-hand side, and they regenerate and they recreate the chance, and they do find the back of the net, and the SACS boys draw level. Declan Wood on the ball here, the number 4 cap for the Gauteng under-19s. Cross is on the ball. He's given that into second centre. He's turned to positive order, but only earned the ordinary. And here's Matthew Cross. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. He's put that into the centre. Faber's done enough to get that out of the centre forward's possession. I believe that's Simon Mustard, St. John's boy, who has that ball taken away from him. And here's Niall Wheeler against Nicholas Searle. Searle slowing that ball down. Wheeler happy to entertain him, but there's a contra on Devon Card for ducking under, I believe it is. And Nicholas Searle's earned the exclusion. Niall Wheeler this time the perpetrator. And the under-19s find themselves in a 2-on-1. Crick. Nothing given there from the ref on the far side. Crick attacking that front water, showing the ball, perhaps expecting something there from the ref, Greg Higgs on the far side. Nothing given, so the SACS boys come away. And Devon Card's gone for an up and under, but Liam Tibbet denies him. Great first chukka here from the Gauteng under-19s. SACS perhaps a bit slow out of the blocks here, as we'd come to expect from them. But lots of water polo left to play. Here's Matthew Cross, given time and space. And he's denied by Faber, a big outstretched arm. Possession recovered by the under-19s. Believe that's Nicholas Searle on the ball. Back to Wood. And here's Cross again. 15 on the clock still. This is Travis Donnelly, another Saints boy. Archer Cross. Cross has gone for it, but he's fired wide of the cage there. Massive presence in the cage is Lwazi Muddy. Before the shots even come, you hesitate just a little bit. And here's Adam Turk, I beg your pardon. That's a great goal. Turk holds that ball up. And Nick Tinkler drives down onto 2. And Turk happy to be provided there. High ball onto the post. No mistake made, Nicholas Tinkler. And for the first time in this game, the SACS Old Boys find themselves out in front. Thank you for joining us here at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Annual Invitational Water Polo Tournament, hosted here at St. David's, Maristananda and Santon. If you're in the area throughout the weekend, please pull through. The beer tent's open. Lots of food, lots of coffee, and lots of good water polo on display, both in the men's and the women's sections. I believe it's 15 or 14 sides in each section. But here come the Gauteng under-19s. Cooper Hayworth tries to feed that into a centre forward, but beautifully read by Adam Turk. And the SACS men escape with the ball. Yandro Rojo Ruiz fetches that ball, plays it up the left-hand side of the pool. Next wave coming through here for the SACS Old Boys. That was Nicholas Fall who received that ball on the hand, fired at the close corner, but Liam Tibbet on hand to deny that attempt. And here comes Cooper Hayworth, the St. David's boy. Beautiful pass onto the left-hand side. That ball's dropped into front water, and another penalty earned here. Great ball movement. I believe that is Danilo Guricic who caught that ball and dropped it straight into the danger man, Simon Mustard, on 2 meters, and he's won the penalty. And the Gauteng under-19s looking to draw level here with the SACS Old Boys with 1 minute and 10 left of this first chukka. But they've got to get past Lwazi Muddy first. And they have not done so. Lwazi Muddy, comfortable save, 2 hands to that. And SACS come again with a ball through Ben Bigara on the left-hand side. Adam Turk transfers the ball from left to right hand and tries to go for a quick shot there to the cross cage, but again Liam Tibbet on hand to deny it. Matthew Callaghan, I believe he's a Kes boy, on the ball. Playing that back to Simon Mustard, who plays centre forward and centre back for the Gauteng under-19s. Quite a versatile young player. Callaghan with 10 left on the clock. Here comes a cross drive. They've tried to feed that in, but Nicholas Downs reads that like a book and snatches that away for the SACS boys. And they come again with 17 seconds left on the clock of this first chukka. I believe that's Rojo Roos on the ball. Here's Nick Fall. He's fired for the cross cage, but Tibbet again on hand to deny. Massive saves coming from him throughout this game. A shot from range, trying to beat the old Saints goalkeeper is the current Saints goalkeeper. And the first chukka comes to a close. The scoreline reading 2-1 in favor of the SACS Old Boys. And we'll see you again for the second chukka after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The second chukka here of this clash between the SACS Old Boys. 2 storm-offs and 2 wins from Nicholas Molyneux as we've come to grow, expected to. That man is absolute lightning in the water. Faber on the ball here for the SACS boys. 2-1 reads the current scoreline. We've got a goal from Nicholas Searle, who slotted from the penalty spot, and the 2 goals for SACS Old Boys through Nicholas Tinkler and Matthew Stopforth. Quite a few contras coming against the SACS boys here. The Gauteng Under-19s, I played them this morning. A massive amounts of effort coming from them, especially on their body position and leg work. Luke Shipway there, the St. John's boy, looking to try and to feed that to his centre-back, but Niall Wheeler was ready and up to the task to snatch that away. Cooper Hayworth recovers possession here, the St. David's boy. Out to Danilo Guricic. A little static here from the Under-19s. That ball's gone into centre, but a great crash coming in from Faber to help out Stopforth. And SACS come away with the ball, and here's Molyneux fetched that ball, dropped to fellow speedster. Wheeler's got that front water, and they've got the penalty. The importance of an early fetch demonstrated there. Molyneux turns provider. And Niall Wheeler on his bike, firing the afterburners, gets the front water, and Cooper Hayworth left with no choice but to concede the pen. And Faber, the lightsaber Faber, his shot cuts through all defenses. Is not able to do it just yet. That finds the underside of the woodwork. He's gone for a quick release there. Has Faber. No doubt we'll see him on the score sheet for the end of the game. And here's Callaghan. Out to Guricic. Pressurized by Molyneux. Oh, great ball into front water there. Stopforth with his wits about him, able to snatch that away from the advancing Ryan Morley. I believe he's also a Kes boy, but I speak under correction. And here's Molyneux. He's dropped to get. And SACS find themselves in a 4-on-3 rather. And Molly's gone for the up and under into the centre. Great assist. And Faber, as we say it, finds himself on the score sheet with a left-hand finish. Molyneux the provider again. And SACS tightening their grip on this game. The scoreline reading 3-1 now in the second chukka. The youngsters, the Gauteng Under-19s here to gain experience, as they do every year, playing against the strength of the old men. Not the old men, rather the men I play in this tournament. I think I just called myself old. And here's Callaghan onto the left-hand side. Suggies is given a foul there. And this is Chris Chapman. I think he's a St. John's boy, but again, speak under correction. Definitely don't know about Guricic. But here's Hayworth. Hand is raised, he can shoot here. That's gone out to Guricic. But static and flat here from the under-19s. But Chris Chapman perhaps going to let it fly, but Sugden on hand to deny. And quickly cleaned up there by Yandro Rojo Rus. Loazi Mari fires up to Niall Wheeler on the right-hand side. And Devon Card is open on two, but they're back to support there, the Gauteng under-19s. Wheeler to stop fourth. Here's Turk into centre. Devon Card, he's on the score sheet. Beautiful finish from him. Ball into centre, makes no mistake, and finds the back of the net, does the talismanic centre forward Devon Card. Gauteng under-19 is going to have to dig deep here. Going to have to be very mobile to beat the strength of the SACS Old Boys. And here's Cooper Hayworth. Callaghan. Hayworth. Chapman to Hayworth again. Callaghan. Ball's moving along the perimeter here quite nicely. Perhaps needs to be a bit quicker, but that's a ball into centre, which Morley didn't know too much about. So Nick Tinkler able to escape there. And here's Wheeler immediately up the other side of the pool, as we've grown so used to seeing him do. Draws the ordinary against Hayworth. Here's Nick Fall. Rojo Rus. Back out to Wheeler. Tinkler again. Oh, Devon Card. Takes no time at all. That ball lands in centre forward water. And the back shot fires over the head of Liam Tibbett. The SACS boys, SACS men rather, leading 5-1 now against the under-19s. No Cameron Lawrenson in the water right now for the SACS Old Boys as he's coaching the Marties ladies in the fixture happening right behind me in the Jubilee Pool. Declan Wood. Oh, that's a great shot from the perimeter. I believe that was Crick, but incredibly well read by the South African shot stopper Loazi Mari. Gets two hands to that and puts it onto the woodwork. 5-1 reads the scoreline here in the first half. Turk fetches on the half. Devon Card at centre back now. And a contra called here on the perimeter. Turk ducking under. And the under-19s have an extra man here if they go. And going they are. And penalty earned. Devon Card, the perpetrator this time. He's on a brace already as Devon Card. I believe that was Nicholas Searle, the number 7, who earns that penalty. And James Crick up to have a crack here at beating Saints alumni goalkeeper Loazi Mari. And he's done so. And the under-19s have their second goal of the game. And back within 3. Exactly what they needed. Loazi Mari sent the wrong way. And Crick fires into the back of the net. With 2 minutes and 10 left, we've got 5-2 on the scoreline. Nick Downs into centre back here. Here's Nick Fall. Fall to Faber. Faber out to the left wing. I think that's Rojo Rus. Nick Downs working hard in the centre on the left-hand side. Here's Faber, the elastic shoulder. Oh, that's beautiful. I think that was a 10-metre donut, you know. Faber has so much control over his release on the shot. And SACS find themselves with their 4-goal deficit reinstated. Declan Wood carries up at centre back. Searle drops into the centre, but that ball skims away from Mussett in the centre forward position. If that ball had stuck on the water, perhaps something could have been given there by the refs, but you can't reward a bad pass. And Faber, using the L2 and right analog stick to beat his defender, fumbles it and regathers, quite fortunately for him. Oh, that's beautiful. That's just textbook. Beautifully weighted pass onto the hand of Nicholas Fall, who shows us his cozzy and fires into the near side. The importance of passing there showed by the SACS Old Boys. 7-2 reads the scoreline. SACS Old Boys asserting their dominance early in this game. Of course, we did see the Marty's men up against OJ earlier today. Scoreline was like 8-2 at some point. Marty's clawed themselves back to a 2-goal deficit. It was 1 towards the end of that game. And here's Crick. You know he loves a perimeter shot. He's dropped that in for the centre, but well read there by Rojo Ruiz. And Stopforth uses a little bit of techers to snatch that ball away with his foot. Lawazi Mari appreciates it. And 7-2 reads the scoreline here. Faber calling for the ball in the half. 20 seconds left on the clock here. And here's Fall. Back to Stopforth. Fall again. Fall's fired at the cross cage. It's come off the woodwork. It's recovered by Rojo Ruiz. Somewhat fortunately, play resumes now with Faber. Fall drops into Downs. And that's just great ball movement there. And penalty earned. Ben Bagara up to bat here on the penalty. 1-on-1 with Liam Tibbett. Is denied. What a save from Tibbett. Exactly what the under-19s needed. Some form of momentum going in their direction. They need a goal here. They need to bring it back within 4. They have 20 seconds to defend this and try and get up the other side of the pool and get a quick counter-attack goal. And here's Searle pressurizing Faber. Rojo Ruiz with a lofted ball into centre. Downs has done enough to get that ball into the danger water. And I think that's Crick who's been excluded. His first major of the game. 8 seconds on the clock here. That's a beautifully worked man up. The SACS men really showing great composure and vision. Great high ball onto that second post. And Rojo Ruiz finds himself on the score sheet. 8-2 in the first half here in favour of the SACS Old Boys. 5 seconds left on the clock at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. He's gone for a lob from range there. But that's all she wrote for the first half. The SACS men leading 8-2 against the Gauteng under-19s. We'll see you for the third chukka after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The third chukka here of this clash. The SACS Old Boys locking horns with the Gauteng Under-19s. The SACS Old Boys, a very strong grip on this game so far, leading 8 goals to 2 here. Niall Wheeler uncharacteristically losing a swim off there. So the youngsters showing some wheels, and Cricks passed the ball to the right-hand side with Searle. That ball's gone into centre forward with Morley. And Morley's got the exclusion there on Wheeler. Second exclusion of the game for Niall Wheeler. It'll be massive for the Under-19s, then get him excluded. The power play here. Looks like they're set up in a 3-3, have the Under-19s. And that's just not good enough from them. Shot coming from the right-hand side. I believe it was Nicholas Searle. Big hands in the way there. And the SACS men find themselves in a 3-on-2 counter if the ball can get there. And Dev Card draws the man. Stop forth as the next wave. And Molyneux. Oh, that's just textbook. That's just textbook. Oh, but caught inside 2 meters, says Steve Tudhope on the far side. His stop forth. That ball movement was incredible. Easily identifying where that ball needs to move, the SACS men. But unable to provide the final product there. Stopforth just caught inside. And Cricks in his favourite shooting position. And Matthew Cross has scored. The Saints boy beats the Saints alumni. And the Under-19s find themselves back within 5 in this third chukka. They're going to need to make it dirty, and they're going to have to claw their way back into this game. Big cavalry changes coming in for the Under-19s. One too many in the water for the Under-19s. So Cricks coming for a break. And Faber, who's on a brace, is on the ball here. Out to Molyneux. Here's Turk. Into Card. And Card's, oh my goodness, Card's got a hat-trick with style points. Beautiful work from the centre forward. Sees the traffic when he goes for the back shot. Turns to the inside, frees the arm, and beats the replacement goalkeeper Kian Singh in the cage. 9 goals to 3, reads the scoreline. Great display coming in from the SACS Old Boys in their second game of this tournament. Sub 3 drop being implemented here by the SACS men, perhaps running through the motions. Here's Hayworth. Can't see a cap number on that side, I beg your pardon. Hayworth out to Callaghan. That's a loose pass. And Wheeler has got there and recovered possession for his side. That was Chris Chapman, the number 8. Who Wheeler is testing his gas here. And Wheeler's turned him inside out and earned the exclusion. And up in support is Adam Turk, and that pass is quick on the hand. And Adam Turk fires comfortably into the near side. And the SACS men lead by 7 now. 10 goals to 3. SACS men making it look easy here. Big drop coming in from the SACS men. The Under-19 is going to have to look to shoot from the perimeter or drive across to break that drop. And here's Shipway. Draws the ordinary from 4. Out to Callaghan. Shipway's gone for the cross drive. Here's Cooper Hayworth to Chapman. Ordinary foul conceded. Here's Hayworth again. Archer to Callaghan. Lofted ball to the front water. And Faber's caught in no man's land, and he is excluded. So a power play now for the Under-19s. 6-on-5 here. Perhaps a 5-on-4 rather. Here's Gurichi. Chapman has fired but met the blocking arm of Cam Sugden in the way. Perhaps a bit of a rushed man up from the Under-19s. But a 2-on-1 immediately up the other side of the pool. Your usual suspect, Nicholas Molyneux, has dropped a gear and found himself on the front water. He's played many a games for the South African national side, has Molyneux. And looking inside there to Sugden. But too much traffic for him to win anything. I believe Cooper Hayworth, the man to get the touch on the ball. And Shipway now, the St. John's boy on the ball. Archer to Guricic. Callaghan. Shipway. Hayworth has gone into the centre. Shipway's gone from deep. That ball's come off the woodwork, and Cooper Hayworth almost able to get that, but just gone underwater. Says Steve Tudhope on the far side. Lwazi Mari perhaps fortunate there to win that ball under call. Adam Turk on the ball here. SACS men find themselves in a 4-on-2, but that ball slowed down. The under-19s reset. Molyneux onto the hand of Dev Card, and he's got 4. Too strong. There's Devon Card. I'm not sure if there are many players in the country who can hold him one-on-one. And the SACS men lead by 8. Four goals for Devon Card. 1 for Adam Turk, 1 for Nick Tinkler, 1 for Nick Fall, 2 for Faber, 1 for Stopforth, and 1 for Yandro Rojo Rus. Those are the SACS Old Boys goals for the Gauteng under-19s. Got a goal from Crick, a goal from Searle, and a goal from Cross. Not able to generate much there with the Gauteng under-19s. And Lwazi Mari escapes with possession. He finds Nicholas Fall on the right-hand side. Shipway excluded there. So a power play now for SACS. Let's see what they can generate. Quite a few left-handers in their side. Rojo Rus, that's a beautiful finish. He catches that ball and bounces into the underside of the crossbar and into the back of the net. 12 goals to 3 for the SACS Old Boys against the Gauteng under-19s. Oh my goodness, and Nick Tinkler's been turned inside out, and that ball's gone into the centre. Mustard earns the ordinary, and here's Hayworth. Time and space on the perimeter. Callaghan playing control on the right, out to Guricic. Callaghan going for the catch and release. That pass a bit low from Guricic, but right down the throat to Lwazi Mari. Unchallenged there, and here comes SACS again with a 3-on-2 through Rojo Rus. On the left-hand side, the talismanic youngster fires to try and beat Kian Singh. The second Saints shot stopper in this under-19 side. And he puts that ball onto the woodwork. But SACS still come again, yeah. They did recover possession. Rojo Rus into downs, but Cooper Hayworth has his wits about him and is able to clean up comfortably. The under-19s find themselves with an extra man here. Cooper Hayworth maintaining his front water. And Fall excluded there, playing Hayworth from the back. So a power play now for the under-19s with 30 seconds left of this third chukka. Here's Guricic. Callaghan. Guricic. Chapman. Callaghan. Chapman has fired to the cross cage. Lwazi Mari 2 hands on that. And recovers the rebound too. And Rojo Rus on hand to clean up. And gives that back to Nicholas Fall. Long pass up to the other side of the pool, but Luke Shipway's got his hip set and able to snatch that away from Nick Downs. Kian Singh's gone for 1 from range here. Almost able to skim past there, but that's all she wrote for the third chukka. The SACS Old Boys leading the Gauteng under-19s quite comfortably, 12 goals to 3. And stay tuned for the concluding fourth chukka after this short break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back up. Fourth chukka, the concluding chukka of this clash between the SACS Old Boys and the Gauteng Under-19s. The Under-19s winning possession here. And they find themselves 9 goals down against the polished SACS outfit. They've played so well so far, the SACS men. But the Under-19s still looking to get something off here. And here's Nicholas Searle out to Callaghan. That's a great ball into centre. But Faber looks at the right time and snatches that ball away. And Molyneux has fired the afterburners, turned his head around just at the wrong time. Still able to recover that ball though is Molly. Oh, no ways. That is cheeky. Molyneux with the techers. Goes for the back shot lob there and finds the underside of the crossbar in the back of the net. 13 goals to 3. Molyneux with the audacious attempt. What a way to get his first goal of the game. Here's Declan Wood. To Callaghan. Here's Wood. Shipway. Shipway plays himself. Tries to feed that into the second centre. But Lwazi Mari on hand to help Faber out. And Nicholas Searle not able to get anything off there. Here's Wheeler. Up the right-hand side of the pool to Tinkler. And an exclusion there. Shipway flicking the ball away after the ref has called a foul there. So cynical infringement there. And now a power play. The SACS men, they're setting up a 5-on-4 here. Nicholas Searle implementing the cockroach technique, and they're happy to set up the 5-on-4 here. And textbook finish, Adam Turk, catch and release under the arm of the goalkeeper, Kian Singh. And 14-3 reads the scoreline. Absolute masterclass from these SACS men, making it look so easy, making the ball do all the work really. Imposing their strength here against the youngsters. Some very strong centre forwards in the SACS side. And that ball movement has just been the tail of the tape. Able to deconstruct or pull apart that defense, allowing a lot of space for each individual player. And here's Juricic, pressurized by Faber. That ball's found its way into the front water for Searle. And Turk is all hands. And SACS escape with the ball to Joshua Faber. Shaped ball up to the other side of the pool. Looking for Niall Wheeler. And Nick Downs through the centre. It's a great pass from Wheeler. Perhaps a bit too high for the big man. Nick Downs and the under-19s come again, yeah. Here's Searle. St. John's boy. To compatriot Musset. Oh, that's beautiful from Musset. One big book. Lwazi Mari bites on the bait, jumps to the near side, and he rifles into the cross cage, off the underside of the crossbar into the back of the net. It is strictly academic at this point. It's 14 goals to 4 in favour of the SACS side. It's a consolation prize, that goal from Musset. But he'll take it. And Devon Card back in the water, centre forward. And here's Faber occupying centre back. Sugden back to Faber. Here's Fall out to Sugden. Faber drops into centre. And Dev Card reversed in the centre forward, holding the neck there, says Greg Higgs on the far side. And here's Juricic. 3 minutes and 20 left to the fourth chukka. Juricic. Searle. To Juricic. Back to Searle. High ball onto the left-hand side, and Wood is fired right down the centre of the cage, and Lwazi Mari untroubled by that. And here's Dev Card. Happy to slow this ball down, wait for some support from the SACS men. And here's Niall Wheeler. Acres of space for him. Over to Nick Fall. 15 seconds still on the clock here. Here's Dev Card. Perhaps going to have one from range. That's into second centre. Wheeler still working Oh, that's gorgeous. He's leaned to the left-hand side and he's beaten Crick on the near side block. Not too much venom on that, but placement. Beating the two Saints boys there and finds the back of the net. 15 goals to 5 here for the SACS old boys. Very strong display coming in from them. Morley gets us back underway. Kesboy back to Declan Wood. Out here to Nick Searle. Ben Bakara happy to concede the ordinary. Out to the left-hand side with Crick. And ducking under there is Ryan Morley in the centre forward position. So a turnover. Fall looking to turn provider here. No Jared Wingate-Pearce as we're used to seeing here for the SACS side. But just as dangerous as ever. Here's Nick Fall. He's gone from range, but again found the woodwork. Sugden almost able to recover the rebound. But enough under 19 boys there in the way to clean up and assist Kian Singh. And here's Crick. Out to Searle. Almost snatched on there by Begara. This time snatched on by Roger Ruiz. And Begara storming up the left-hand side of the pool. That ball's landed behind him. And he's continued as Begara. He's one-on-one with Singh. And Singh denies. Great save. Coming from Kian Singh. Roger Ruiz. Begara. Out to the right-hand side with Fall. Gone for a catch and release there. I believe Crick's blocked that with his forehead. And put that out of bounds. The under-19s come again, yeah. Strictly academic. Only consolation prizes here. Up for options for the under-19s at this stage of the game. 1 minute left. Guricic on the ball. Molyneux is almost able to pick his pocket. But here's Declan Wood. Quick ball into centre. Oh, that's great work. Nicholas Searle turns to the positive order, and Roger Ruiz left with no choice but to concede the major. And a power play now for the under-19, setting up in a 5-on-4. Crick out to Chapman, Guricic, Morley, Crick. Now in the 6-on-5, Crick's gone for it. Loazi Madi denies. And again, the SACS men find themselves in a 2-on-1. Their counter-attack has been on all day. And here's Fall, and he's fired wide of the cage. So, Searle up against Stopforth. Stopforth concedes the ordinary. Very tall man is Stopforth. Here's Guricic. Donnelly. He's gone for it, but a massive block coming in from Molyneux. And Loazi Madi has fired from deep, not able to put that on target. And a dominant display of water polo coming from the SACS old boys, outclassing the Gauteng under-19s, winning 15 goals to 4 at the 4th edition of the Gauteng Invitational Water Polo Tournament. Thank you so much for joining us here. Statistics, coverage and commentary brought to you by ItsHappening.Africa, and we'll see you again after this short break.